April and Connor were inseparable, even in middle school. Connor proposed at graduation, and she naturally said yes. Their parents gave the newlyweds a home, so April and Connor would be able to work on their home immediately after their honeymoon. Their relationship was wonderful, and it seems like their feelings grew stronger every day. After graduating from college, Connor got a good job and moved up the career ladder fairly quickly. The only missing thing from their life was children. They did everything they could do to get pregnant, but it didn't work out. In secret, April went to a doctor and underwent tests which revealed she was completely healthy. So, the problem isn't with me, it's with Connor. But how will I tell him? It's going to destroy him, she thought sadly. April called Nadine, a friend from when they were in school. They hadn't seen each other much recently because April was busy with work and her family life. Hey there, Connor's leaving on a business trip tomorrow. Why don't you come over and we can chat? Sounds good, Nadine said. April was surprised. Her friend had changed a lot. Nadine was always very attractive and used her appearance with the boys, but didn't have a constant partner. After graduating from school, she found the first job she could and studied in a community college. She didn't earn much, but she helped her mom and lived modestly. A completely different Nadine was standing in front of April. She was dressed luxuriously. Her hair was flawless, as was her makeup, and her perfume was expensive. I don't know what to say. You look stunning. I bet you fell in love, April said, hugging her friend. Not exactly, but I finally found a good, high-paying job. And the guys at work make me stay in shape, she said, laughing. They poured themselves a glass of wine and got comfy on the couch. I'm so happy to see you. Tell me about your new job, April said. I'm working where your husband does. He didn't tell you? No, we don't talk about work at home. It's a rule. I understand. But I think something's bothering you? Nadine asked, looking at April carefully. Well, everything's fine generally. Connor and I really want a baby, but aren't able to get pregnant. A baby? April, what's the rush? You're young and you have your whole life ahead of you. Enjoy your youth and your life. Nadine, stop that. Children are a joy. Connor and I have been ready for a while and we want this. Do you not want children? Not at all. I don't want kids or to get married. I just started living normally. I haven't seen anything yet, so I don't need to spend my spare energy on a husband or children for the foreseeable future. April didn't believe what she was saying. Nadine had dreamed of getting married and having kids since school. You've changed, and I don't recognize you, April said, smiling. I went to the doctor. The problem isn't with me, but I don't know how to tell Connor. I'm scared of how hard it will hit him. Well, sooner or later, you'll have to. I'm sure it'll be fine. Dear, we need to have a talk, April said worriedly as soon as her husband got home from his trip. She told him about her test results. So you naturally decided the problems are with me? He sneered. Why do you jump to problems? Please go take tests too. We need a specialist's help. The mood was tense between them for the first time. They ate dinner in silence and went to sleep with their backs turned. The next morning was like it always was, but April thought their relationship was damaged. For the next few days, Connor stayed at work late and then went on another trip. He came home in an excellent mood and proudly gave April papers. It was his test results. It turned out he was healthy, too. They went to a specialist. The doctor said they weren't compatible, and the chances of a natural pregnancy were very low. Options included artificial insemination or a surrogate mother. They were despondent. They became distant, and both stayed at work. Connor started going on trips more, and they weren't as close anymore. April only thought about how to fix it. She had an idea one day. They should go on vacation together. She had heard that lots of couples in the same boat got pregnant on vacation. Connor excitedly agreed, but just a few days before their trip, Connor told April he couldn't go because the company would have a very important trip for an entire month. They had to cancel the trip, and April wept all night. When Connor left, she decided to call Nadine and invite her over for a few days. "I'm sorry, but I can't. I'm on the same trip as your husband. Don't you remember that we work together? There's a ton of us here," she heard on the phone. April waited for her husband anxiously. Their relationship improved when he returned. April decided to relax and just enjoy her life and pass the time. One day, during the weekend, Connor was working at home in his office and rushing around the house. He ran out unexpectedly with a folder in his hand saying he was called urgently to work. April looked into his office. His computer was on and there were papers everywhere. She straightened out the papers and went to his desk to shut the computer down. She closed what was opened and wound up in Connor's email. She noticed a huge amount of received emails from one person, a woman. Now, they had never monitored each other's emails, phone calls, or texts because they trusted each other and respected each other's personal space. April decided to read one, just to make sure it was about work. When she opened it, she was horrified. She opened another, then read them all. They were emails between her husband and his affair partner, Nadine, her best friend. Each letter came with an attachment that was either sexy or just nude. April learned from the emails that every time her husband went on a business trip, he was with her. April couldn't move, and she didn't know what to do next. She then decided that she needed to calm down for important life decisions. She gathered some things and left her husband a note that she went to visit her grandma. April's grandma lived in a village in the forest. She spent all her breaks there in her childhood. It was an excellent place to calm down. Her grandma was shocked by the unexpected visit, but very happy to see her favorite granddaughter. "Well, tell me what happened. You wouldn't have come so far for nothing," she said, looking at April. She told her she was okay, but then started bawling. April told her everything. "Dear, you were right to come. It's smart to cool off before making a decision. Go lie down and rest. We'll talk tomorrow," she said, petting April's hair and kissing her. Oddly enough, April woke up rested and not in as much pain as the day before. "Do you love him dearly?" her grandma asked, setting the table for breakfast. April sighed. "I do, and it seems I love him more every day. And for some reason, I believe he loves me despite everything. I don't know how to live without him." "You won't need to. You must understand that a married woman must be smarter, wiser, and cleverer. Your grandfather was a ladies' man and didn't let a single skirt pass by. I loved him greatly and decided not to give up without a fight. My grandma taught me how to get a man to stop cheating." April couldn't wait to hear this method. "When my husband was going to a suspicious event, I rubbed chili peppers on the inside of his underwear. All of his dalliances ended in burning, irritation, and itching in those sensitive areas. Your grandfather understood that as soon as he made a mistake, he'd have problems with his genitals, and when he was with me, everything was okay. So he stopped chasing ladies. You have to fight for your love." April and her grandma laughed for a long time. April went home. She finally decided to turn on her phone that she had turned off when she left. It rang immediately. She heard Connor's worried voice. "Dear, where did you go? Why couldn't I reach you?" "Don't worry, I'm fine, and I'll be home soon. You know the signal's bad at my grandma's." April decided she had nothing to lose. She really loved her husband and was ready to fight for him. As soon as he told her about another trip, April got the clothes together for him and rubbed his underwear with the pepper, like her grandma taught her. Connor came home upset. One time when Connor thought April wasn't at home, she quietly went and became a witness to his phone call. He was talking to Nadine. He told her he was having issues with his health and accused her of getting an STI and passing it to him. Then April read his emails when Connor had left. They were constantly fighting. Nadine said she was tired of his constant accusations, and he called her indecent and immoral. It ended with Connor telling Nadine that he had made a huge mistake. He had always loved and would always love April, and they were done. His business trips quickly stopped. Connor returned to how he was before. April felt loved and cared for. One day, he surprised her with tickets and a hotel reservation on the French Riviera. It was unforgettable. April came home pregnant, and they had twins 9 months later. April was now a beloved wife and a happy mother.